Picture a bustling coffee shop where a customer slaps a barista for misspelling her name on a cup. Now imagine the barista is deaf, and that slap just sparked a reckoning she never saw coming. Brewhaven sits on a lively corner in Columbus, Ohio, its wide windows fogged with morning steam at 8:00 a.m. on a hectic Monday. The aroma of fresh espresso weaves through the air, mingling with the nutty scent of roasted beans. A jukebox hums soft jazz, barely audible over the clatter of cups and the hiss of the espresso machine. The line of regulars, some in suits, others in workout gear, snakes from the counter to the door, their chatter a steady hum. A staff appreciation sign swings gently above the pastry case, next to a chalkboard boasting the day's specials. Security cameras, small and unassuming, blink from corners above the counter, quietly watching the morning rush. I'm Mike, the guy behind the counter with a graying buzz cut and a coffee-stained apron. 50 years old, former Marine, I've been at Brewhaven for a decade, long enough to know every regular's order by heart. Folks say I'm the calm in the storm, the one who keeps the chaos in check when the line's out the door. I nod, pour, and listen, always listening, even when the shop's a circus. Then there's Alex, our 25-year-old barista with a smile that could light up a blackout. He's deaf, communicates with quick signs or a notepad he keeps tucked in his apron. His hands move like a maestro's, pulling perfect shots of espresso while jotting notes to customers. Regulars love him. His warmth, his precision, the way he remembers their usuals. He's got this knack for making you feel seen, even on a morning when you're just another face in the crowd. Enter Karen. She struts in at 800 sharp, 45 years old, decked out in designer yoga pants and oversized sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. Her purse, slung over one shoulder, swings as she cuts through the line, her heels clicking on the hardwood. She's not a regular, but I've seen her type, impatient, loud, the kind who expects the world to bend to her schedule. Believable, though not a cartoon villain. Just a woman who's had one too many bad days and thinks the barista's to blame. Karen steps up to the counter, her voice sharp as she orders a caramel latte, extra foam, no whip. Name's Karen, she says, enunciating like Alex might measure through sheer willpower. He nods, scribbling on his notepad, then writes Kareen on her cup in neat marker. A simple slip, the kind that happens when you're juggling 10 orders and a line out the door. But for Karen, that extra is a declaration of war. I'm wiping down the espresso machine when I catch the exchange. Alex hands over the cup, his smile steady. But Karen's already squinting at the name. Her lips purse, and I know trouble's brewing. It's the kind of moment that makes you wonder, how does a tiny mistake turn into a battlefield? But that's the thing about coffee shops. They're microcosms of life, where small sparks can ignite big flames. The counter's our stage. Alex's notepad lies open, a pen tucked behind his ear. Karen's cup, still steaming, sits between them, the misspelled name glaring up. Her sunglasses slide slightly as she leans in, and the security cameras catch every angle. The staff appreciation sign sways above, a silent witness to what's about to unfold. Ever seen a customer flip out over a tiny mistake? Share your wildest coffee shop stories in the comments and predict Karen's fate. Karen's lat was perfect, but her reaction was anything but. At 8:05 a.m., Brewhaven's morning rush is in full swing. The jukebox hums a lazy saxophone riff, nearly drowned by the whir of the grandeur and the chatter of customers. The counter's a whirlwind of motion, cups sliding, milk steaming, Alex and I moving like a well-oiled machine. Karen's caramel latte, extra foam, no whip, sits in her hand, the steam curling up as she stares at the cup. That Kareen, in black marker, might as well be a personal insult. She thrusts the cup forward, her voice slicing through the shop's hum. "Excuse me, what is this?" she demands, tapping the misspelled name with a manicured nail. Her sunglasses, now perched on her nose, glint under the shop's warm lights. Alex, unfazed, grabs his notepad and scribbles, "Sorry, misheard. I'll remake it." He slides the note across the counter, his smile steady, the kind that usually disarms even the grumpiest regulars. Karen's not having it. She glances at the notepad, then back at Alex, her lips twisting. "You're ignoring me," she snaps loud enough to make a guy in a suit look up from his laptop. "I said my name is Karen. Karen. Is it that hard?" She leans forward, her purse bumping the counter, and those sunglasses slip down her nose. Alex writes another note, "My apologies. New drink on us." He offers it with a nod, his calm like a lighthouse in her storm. I'm steaming milk a few feet away, the pitcher hissing in my hands. I catch the edge in Karen's tone, the way her shoulders stiffen. Trouble's brewing, but I trust Alex. He's handled worse, cranky lawyers, hungover college kids, even that guy who yelled about decaf last month. I keep an eye on them, ready to step in but giving him space. The shop's regulars are starting to notice. A woman in a red scarf at a nearby table glances over, her eyebrow raised. Two construction workers in line exchange a look, one muttering, "Here we go." Another customer, scrolling on her phone, smirks as Karen's voice climbs. The staff appreciation sign sways above the counter, and the security cameras hum quietly, capturing every word. Karen's not done. "I want a free drink," she declares, shoving the latte back toward Alex. "This is ridiculous. Do your job right, or get someone who can." Her words sting, but Alex keeps his cool, jotting another note. "I can't read it from here, but I know he's trying to smooth things over. That's who he is. Steady, kind, even when someone's spitting venom." The counter's still the heart of it all. Alex's notepad, pages curling from use, sits next to Karen's rejected cup. Her sunglasses teeter on the edge of her nose, and her purse rests against the counter's edge. The line behind her shuffles, impatient but hooked on the drama. I set the milk pitcher down, my gut telling me this isn't over. Karen's temper erupted, turning a small mistake into a public outrage. It's 8:10 a.m. at Brewhaven, and the coffee shop's rhythm falters. The jukebox's jazz feels distant, drowned by the tension at the counter. Karen's caramel latte, now cooling, sits abandoned as she slams the cup down, the thud echoing like a gavel. "I want the manager, and I want a refund. Now," she barks, her sunglasses slipping to the tip of her nose. Her voice carries, sharp and unrelenting, slicing through the morning buzz. Alex, still holding his notepad, scribbles a quick response, "I'll get the manager." "Sorry again." He offers it with a steady hand, but Karen swats the note away, her face flushed. "Learn to listen, you idiot," she shouts, and before anyone can blink, her hand cracks across Alex's right cheek. The slap rings out, a sickening sound that freezes the shop. Alex stumbles back, his notepad fluttering to the counter, shock flickering across his face. The room erupts in gasps. A woman in a red scarf stands, her coffee forgotten. "That's uncalled for," growls Bill, a retiree at a corner table, his newspaper crumpling in his hands. Two construction workers in line pull out their phones, one already recording, the other muttering, "She's done for." A student in a hoodie, Jenny, angles her phone to catch the scene, her jaw set. The staff appreciation sign looms above, and the security cameras blink silently, their lenses fixed on the chaos. I'm at Alex's side in a heartbeat, my marine instincts kicking in. I step between him and Karen, my voice low but ironclad. "You need to leave, now." My hands are steady but my pulse is hammering. Alex clutches his notepad, his cheek red, and steps back toward the espresso machine, his eyes wide but composed. Karen freezes, her sunglasses now crooked, her purse still propped against the counter. She assaulted him. The woman in the scarf calls, and the crowd murmurs agreement, their phones still rolling. Karen sputters, her bravado cracking. "Hey, he wasn't listening." "I barely touched him." "But the shop's not buying it." Bill shakes his head, and Jenny's already tapping her screen, likely uploading the video. The counter remains our battleground. Alex's notepad lies crumpled, the rejected latte cup tipped over, a slow drip staining the wood. The security cameras capture every angle, and the line of customers has stopped moving, all eyes on Karen. I keep my stance firm, shielding Alex. He's shaken but holding it together, his hands signing something quick. "Probably I'm okay." though I'm too focused to catch it. Karen's still ranting, demanding her refund, but her voice wavers as the crowd's judgment sinks in. The shop's alive with whispers, phones, and outrage, and I know this moment's about to change everything. Karen's slap was bad, but the truth about Alex was about to make it worse. It's 8:15 a.m. at Brewhaven, and the coffee shop is a pressure cooker. The jukebox's soft jazz is a faint hum, overtaken by the low roar of customers' voices and the occasional beep of phones recording the fallout. Karen stands at the counter, her face a mix of defiance and panic, her sunglasses now dangling from one hand. Her purse rests against the counter's edge, next to the spilled caramel latte, its contents pooling on the wood. Alex's notepad lies crumpled nearby, a silent testament to the chaos. The security cameras blink above, capturing every second of the standoff. I'm still shielding Alex, my voice steady as I face Karen. "You just assaulted a deaf man," I say loud enough for the crowd to hear. Alex communicates with notes and signs because he can't hear you. That's why he wrote Karen. A simple mistake. The words land like a thunderclap. Karen's eyes widen, her mouth parting as the crowd's murmurs swell. Bill, the retiree, shakes his head, muttering, "Unbelievable." Jenny, the student filming nearby, gasps, her phone still raised. The woman in the red scarf crosses her arms, her glare boring into Karen. Karen stammers, her sunglasses slipping from her fingers to clatter on the counter. I didn't know," she protests, her voice pitching higher. He should have said something. The excuse is flimsy, and the crowd's not buying it. A construction worker snorts, and Jenny mutters, "Said something. Really?" I press forward, my tone calm but cutting. In Ohio, assaulting a disabled person is a serious offense. Ohio Revised Code of 1432.1, misdemeanor, with enhanced penalties. You're in deep trouble. The shop's tension spikes. Alex behind me signs something quick to Lisa, our coworker, who's just rushed over from the back. She nods, her face tight, and kneels to check on him. His cheek is still red, but he's steady, clutching his notepad like a lifeline. I grab my walkie-talkie from the counter's edge and key it up. "Brewhaven to dispatch. We need police at 127 Maple Street. Assault on a staff member." My voice is even, but my pulse is racing. Lisa glances at me, then back at Alex, whispering, "You okay?" He nods, signing I'm fine, though his eyes flicker with unease. Karen's bravado crumbles. "This is ridiculous!" she snaps, snatching her purse. "It was a reflex, okay? I'm leaving." She turns toward the door, but the crowd shifts. Bill steps forward, his arms crossed. "You're not going anywhere," he says, his voice gruff. Jenny and the woman in the red scarf move closer, forming a loose barrier. She can't get away with hitting someone like that. Jenny says her phone's still recording. Another customer, a guy in a suit, holds up his own video. "Got it all right here," he calls. The security cameras above hum, their footage a silent ally. Karen's face flushes, her purse clutched to her chest. "You can't keep me here," she shouts, but her voice cracks. The crowd's resolve is ironclad, their phones a modern-day jury. I glance at Alex, who's now standing by the espresso machine, Lisa at his side. He signs something to her, and she translates quietly. He says he just wants this over. I nod, my jaw tight. This isn't just about Alex. It's about every worker who's faced a customer's wrath over nothing. The shop's front door chimes at 8:20 a.m. and two police officers step in, their boots heavy on the hardwood. The crowd parts, phones still raised. "What's going on?" The lead officer, a stocky woman with a notepad, asks. I point to Karen. She slapped my coworker, Alex, over a misspelled name on her cup. He's deaf. We've got witnesses and camera footage. I gesture to the security cameras in the crowd's phones. Jenny steps forward, holding out her device. "I recorded it," she says. Bill nods, clear as day. The officer approaches Karen, who's now trembling, her sunglasses back on the counter next to the spilled latte. "Mom, we need to see some ID," the officer says. Karen fumbles in her purse, her hands shaking. "This is a misunderstanding," she insists, but the officer's already reviewing Jenny's video. Her partner, a younger guy, watches the footage over her shoulder, his expression hardening. "That's assault," he says flatly. The lead officer nods. "Turn around, ma'am. You're under arrest." Karen's protests rise to a wail as the cuffs click on. "You can't do this! It was an accident!" The crowd watches, silent but satisfied, as the officers lead her toward the door. Her purse, left behind, is scooped up by Lisa, who tucks it behind the counter. The spilled latte drips steadily, and Alex's notepad remains, its pages creased but intact. The staff appreciation sign sways above, a quiet irony in the chaos. As the door chimes shut, the shop exhales. Customers murmur, some clapping softly. Jenny's already tapping her phone, likely sharing the video. Bill pats my shoulder. "You handled that right, Mike," he says. I nod, but my eyes are on Alex, who's signing to Lisa, his hands slower now. She translates, shaken but grateful. I give him a thumbs up, and he returns a small smile. The counter's still a mess, the spilled latte, Karen's forgotten sunglasses, Alex's crumpled notepad. The security cameras blink, their footage now evidence. The shop's alive with a new energy. Anger, yes, but also unity. Karen's arrest was dramatic, but her downfall was just beginning. Part 5. The aftermath. Karen's slap didn't just hurt Alex. It sparked a movement that shook our town. Days after the incident, Brewhaven is buzzing, but not just with the usual Monday rush. It's 8:00 a.m., a week later, and the coffee shop's hardwood floors gleam under sunlight streaming through fogged windows. The jukebox plays a soft trumpet melody, blending with the hiss of the espresso machine and the chatter of a packed house. The counter, once a battleground, is tidy again, though Alex's notepad, new pages, same pen, sits ready. The staff appreciation sign still hangs above, now joined by a chalkboard tallying tips for Alex. The security cameras blink quietly, their footage now a viral sensation. Jenny's video, uploaded to X with hashtags like #PetDefBaristaJustice and #FiKarenSlap, exploded overnight. Thousands of views turned into millions, the clip looping on phones across Columbus and beyond. Local news caught wind, and by Tuesday, a reporter was at Brewhaven, her camera trained on me as I wiped down the counter. "Mike, you protected your coworker," she said, mic in hand. "What happened?" I kept it simple. Karen crossed a line. Alex didn't deserve that. No worker does. The segment aired that night, painting Brewhaven as a beacon of community strength. Ex-users amplified it, praising Alex's grace and my restraint, with comments like, "Mike's a hero," and "Justice for Alex." The community's response was overwhelming. Regulars flooded the shop, their tips overflowing the jar by the register. Notes piled up for Alex, scribbled post-its, folded napkins, even a kid's crayon drawing of a smiling barista. "You're amazing, Alex," one read. A local bakery, Sweet Rise, dropped off trays of pastries, their owner saying, "For your team spirit." A community group, Columbus Cares, organized a "Support Our Baristas" day, packing the shop with supporters wearing 5 Def Barista Justice stickers. The line stretched out the door, and every order came with a kind word for Alex. He signed "Thank you" so often his hands must have ached, but his smile never faded. Karen, meanwhile, was unraveling. Identified as a local yoga instructor, her face was plastered across X, her slap replayed endlessly. Her studio Zen Flow bled clients as reviews tanked. "Can't support someone who hits a deaf barista," one read. Karen's X posts, a mix of defiance and shaky apologies, only fueled the fire. "It was a stressful day," she wrote. "I didn't mean harm." The replies were brutal. "Stress doesn't justify assault." And "Own it, Karen." Her nickname, Slap Happy Karen, trended locally, with memes showing her sunglasses flying mid-slap. She deleted her account by Wednesday, but the internet's memory was long. Legally, Karen was cornered, charged with misdemeanor assault under Ohio law. She faced up to $1,000 in fines and 6 months in jail, with potential enhancements for targeting a disabled worker. Brewhaven banned her for life, a notice taped to the door, "No entry for Karen High last name." Her purse, left behind during the arrest, was picked up by a cousin, who avoided eye contact as Lisa handed it over. The counter's props, Alex's notepad, the spilled latte stain, were gone, but the security footage lived on, shared by news outlets and ex-users alike. Karen's yoga classes, once packed, were now half empty, her reputation in tatters. The shop itself felt different, stronger. Customers lingered, swapping stories of Alex's kindness. Bill, the retiree, became a daily fixture, his coffee order always paired with a nod to Alex. Jenny, now a Brewhaven regular, showed Alex her ex-post stats.
"Signing, you're famous!"
He laughed, shaking his head, and signed back, "Just want to make coffee." Lisa, ever the organizer, started a tip pool to split the flood of donations, ensuring every barista felt the love. The community's support wasn't just for Alex. It was for every worker who'd ever faced a Karen and kept pouring. I watched it all from behind the counter, my apron stained but my chest lighter. Alex was back to pulling espresso shots, his hands steady, his notepad filled with new notes from customers. The shop's rhythm had returned, but it carried a new beat: pride, unity, defiance. Karen's slap had meant to break something, but it built something instead. Columbus showed up, not just for coffee, but for justice. Karen's shame was spreading, but justice was about to seal her fate. Karen's mistake taught her a lesson, and reminded us all to respect everyone. Weeks later, Brewhaven hums with its familiar warmth. It's a crisp Columbus morning. The shop's windows steamed from the 800 a.m. rush. The jukebox spins a gentle piano tune, weaving through the clink of cups and the espresso machine's hiss. The counter gleams, Alex's notepad open beside the register, its pages filled with customer notes. Some orders, some praise. A new sign hangs above the staff appreciation plaque, "Respect all who serve you." The security cameras still blink, but their footage, now archived, has done its work. The shop feels like home again, stronger for it. Karen's day in court came swiftly. Facing misdemeanor assault charges, she stood before a judge, her designer yoga pants swapped for a plain blazer, her sunglasses nowhere in sight. The viral video witnessed testimonies, and Brewhaven's security footage left no room for denial. She pleaded guilty, her voice low, eyes fixed on the floor. The judge handed down an $800 fine and 50 hours of community service at a local disability support center. A fitting irony that drew nods from the courtroom gallery. Brewhaven's lifetime ban stood firm, the notice on the door now laminated. No entry for Karen, last name. Her yoga studio Zen Flow shuttered its doors a week later, its lease canceled amid dwindling clients. Slap happy Karen faded from trending lists, but her lesson lingered. The shop meanwhile thrived. The Support Our Baristas Day sparked lasting change. Columbus Cares funded disability awareness training for the staff, led by a local advocate who taught us basic sign language. I can now sign "thank you" and "coffee." Small steps, but they make Alex smile. The new respect sign wasn't just decor, it set a tone. Customers, even the grumpiest, softened their edges, mindful of the eyes on them. Alex, more confident than ever, worked the counter with his usual grace, his smile a magnet for regulars. Bill, now a self-appointed shop grandpa, brought him a coffee-themed keychain, saying, "For our star." Jenny, still filming her Brewhaven visits, posted updates on Alex's return, captioned, "She's unstoppable." The community's bond grew deeper. Sweet Rise's pastry deliveries became weekly, their owner calling it a thank you for your heart. Tips stayed generous, the jar by the register overflowing daily. Lisa organized a staff party with the extra funds, complete with a cake that read, "Brewhaven Strong." Alex cut the first slice, signing "Best Team" as we cheered. The shop's hardwood floors, once stained by a spilled latte, now shone under the weight of new stories. Laughter, kindness, resilience. The moral of Karen's outburst was clear: empathy matters, especially for those who navigate the world differently. Alex's deafness wasn't a flaw, it was part of his strength, his ability to connect despite barriers. Karen's entitlement, laid bare by a single slap, showed what happens when impatience trumps decency. But the real power lay in our town's response. Standing up, speaking out, choosing respect over rage. Brewhaven became more than a coffee shop. It was a reminder that every worker, every person deserves dignity. Loved this story of justice and respect. Hit like, share with friends, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Share your own stories of standing up for what's right in the comments below. As I wipe down the counter, Alex pulls a perfect espresso shot, his hands steady, his notepad tucked in his apron. The line of regulars snakes to the door, their orders familiar, their smiles warm. The jukebox hums, the respect sign gleams, and the shop pulses with life. In a coffee shop where every worker shines, one Karen's outburst only strengthened our bond.